Song says, I'm healed in Jesus' name. No more sickness, no more pain. By his stripes we shall proclaim, I'm here in Jesus, in his name. Somebody else has a loved one that's sick. You can get in on this too.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Willie James here from DreamHouse Music. Want to go over I'm Healed in Jesus' Name. Has some nice gospel turnarounds in B flat. It's John P. singing slow, and I don't know if it's him playing or someone else, but they're following him with these nice passing chords, right? So I want to play it through and then kind of talk about what they are, and maybe you could use them in your playing. All right, so let me try and play through. My timing might be a little bit off of what the keyboardist is doing, but I'm trying to kind of interpret things. So
Healed in Jesus' name. Come on, let's believe it. No more sickness, no more pain. By his stripes we can all proclaim, I'm here. Come on, say it with me. I'm here. Throw your hands up and say it. I'm here in Jesus. I love this part. In his name. Let's all say it. Come on. In his name. You got to start thanking him, though. You got to start clapping your hands. Come on. In advance, you're here right now. Yeah.
all right, so let's break it down. So the first two chords is a 3/6. Listen.
Song says, I'm healed in
Da-da. What is that? It's a 3/6. On the 3, we have this chord. Now, what is this? Back in the day, I'd be like, I have no idea what that is. But it's built on the 3, which is a D, and it's a dominant chord. Okay, most of these lush gospel chords, they're usually dominant chords that are altered. Okay, so we're building a D dominant 7, which is this D, F sharp, A, C. Okay, so we have a D major triad. Every dominant chord starts with a major triad. Sorry. Then we have the flat 7, the dominant 7, which is a C. Major 7th is C sharp. Okay. Now we alter the chord. So what does that mean? We're gonna change some of the notes. So that's what an altered chord means. We alter the notes. We're gonna alter the A and raise it to a B flat or A sharp, like that. Okay, that's the first thing you do. Then we're gonna take the E, which is the 9. D to D is 8. D to E is 9. We're gonna raise the 9, the E, which is in the D major scale, to a sharp 9, which is F. Okay, so you have this. So you have the 1 to 3. This is the sharp 5. This is the dominant 7, and this is the sharp 9. All right. So my software is saying a D augmented 7, 9, sharp 9. Okay, which is this. All right. But we're gonna voice it with the 1 and the 7 on the bottom, the D and the C. Okay, so that's what that is. It's a dominant chord, altered dominant chord. And then he goes to a 6. Now this 6 is a G minor 9. Okay, but we voice this 9, G minor 9, with the A on the bottom. So you have a B flat chord here with this A on top, which is a B flat major 7. Put it right beside that B flat here. Creates that nice dense sound. And then the 1 and the 7, G and the F in the left hand. So the two chords are. Okay, and I used to wonder, well, how does he know that? Experimentation, knowledge, musical theory, a bunch of things. Feel, right?
Song says I'm healed in
Right? Could be John playing, I'm not sure, or someone else. But I'm healed is a D. So the keyboardist is trying to think of, okay, what chords can he play with the melody note D? Because remember, melody dictates what chords you play, right? So he played on just that one note, I'm healed, right? Those two chords. So very nice coloring. Listen again.
Song says I'm healed in Jesus.
All right, so very nice. I'm healed. All right, so anytime you're in B flat and the singer sings a D for an extended time, copy what he did. Go 3/6 instead of just playing a 1. I'm healed. Right? You would just play a 1. Instead of doing that, he says, no, let's color it. Let's do a 3/6. I'm healed. Instead of I'm healed. Right? That's just regular, right? There's that D. All right. So what's next? Very nice chords are next.
Song says I'm healed in Jesus.
In Jesus is a, that's what he does over the C. So there's two ways to look at it. You could look at it as a D major over C, right? And there's two ways to name this. You could say it's a D dominant chord with the dominant 7th on the bottom, but I see it as a 2 chord. So C is the root. So this would be a 9. This would be a flat 5 or sharp 4 or sharp 11, and then this would be a 13th, right? But myself were saying a D over C, which is correct. But then he goes here, okay, which makes it a C dominant, basically a flat 5 chord. That's what I would say. And you got the sus2 right here too. Right, so different ways to look at it. But there's a movement. Very quick. That A goes to that A sharp. I'm healed in Jesus. Right? Jesus. Very subtle change in one note that colors the chord really different. Right? Okay. One of my favorite chords. It's really, though, a C dominant chord, right? So it's basically, instead of the 3, the C and the E, you have a 2, you have a flat 5, and you have the dominant 7, the B flat. Okay? Used very often on the 2 in gospel chords. Okay, you could do that as well. Okay, add the E, which is the 3. Right? So you just look at it as, you could use this elsewhere actually. When you're playing a dominant chord on the 2, instead of going straight to it, C, E, G, B flat, which is a C dominant 7, go to the 2, create a major chord right before it, right, to create that movement. That's what the keyboardist is really doing. But he's just isolating that one note, right? But the full thing would be this. So very nice movement. So what's next?
In Jesus' name.
Name. It's a C. That's what John is singing, but the keyboardist does some nice passing chords.
Jesus' name.
Da, 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 da. I think I hear a C. It's an F. It's an F add 2 basically. F G A C. But he does like, right, something like this, right? So I'm spreading out the chord, right? This is the chord in root position, but he has the A on the bottom. Something like this. So he's doing a 7-6-5 movement while John is holding that C. Name. I kind of like that. This is a G minor 9. So you have the F add 2, G minor 9, and then you have this E flat over F, right? Which is an F dominant sus. Okay. Software saying F9 sus, which is correct. This is the chord. It's an F. It's here's the 1. So F is our root. So F is 1. You should know your F scale. 1. This is the sus 4. Here's the dominant 7, and here's the 9, which creates basically an E flat over F, a 4 over 5. I would write in my chord chart, or you would say this is an F9 with the sus. The 9 is G, the sus is the B flat. But you could voice it like this, bigger. So I'm just playing a bigger E flat chord over F. That's the basic chord. So I'm healed, 3, 6, in Jesus on the 2, name, walk, walk, walk. All right, very nice movements. All right, so that's the basic movement, but the keyboardist is coloring it with these chords. Right, and his landing place is the 5. Right, instead of just going to a 5, name, he says, hey, let's walk to the 5, create more movement. All right, so he's creating some melodies on the top. There's the 9 on the G minor 9, and then we're playing our F sus 4 chord, F sus 9 like this. Here's the 1, here's the dominant 7, here's the 9, here's the 4, here's the dominant 7 again, and repeating the 1. So we're repeating a lot of notes. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. Context again.
Song says, I'm healed in Jesus' name. No more sickness.
So no more sickness. Typical gospel walk down to the 2. 4, 3, 2. No more sickness. John is singing a C, D, E flat, and the chords for that are no more sickness. It's a diminished chord walk down starting on the 4. Basically it's an E flat diminished 7th. Right, I could be wrong, but this is what I'm interpreting by ear. I didn't really listen to every note, but this is what I'm hearing. Right, this is an E flat diminished 7th. So I'm gonna put the 1 and the 7th in my left hand. No, and then more on with the D on top. It's an F diminished with the D and the B on the bottom. F diminished 7th is this. Right? I have the D and B on the bottom. So no more. Very nice chords, advanced chords. Sickness. So sickness is just a C minor 7th, which is just an E flat over C. All right, every minor 7th chord has a major triad on top of the root note. In this case, it's an E flat major over C. So I see it as a C minor 7th, or in my chord chart, I would write 4 over 2. Right, but with that C minor 7th, I'm voicing the E flat in first inversion. Okay.
No more sickness. No more.
Okay, so after that, he walks up from the 2 to go to a 3. Voice like this. It's really a B flat sus 2 over 3, right? It's a B flat add 2 with the 3, the D on the bottom. So I kind of hear this, right? This type of voicing here. And so 3, 4. On the 4 is E flat major 7th, but voiced like this, right? So E flat major 7th, the 1, the 3, the 5, and the major 7th. Isolate the 3 and the 7 on top, and the 1 and the 5 on the bottom. Creates a nice open voicing there. So no more sickness, walk, walk, and then he's back to that 5 chord, 5 and 9 sus chord, right?
No more.
Right? No more. Right? Something like that.
No more sickness. No more pain.
So that note pain, he then goes 3, same 3 chord, 2, and then 5, right? Let's play it again. Actually, on the 5, this time it's a straight 5 dominant 7 F major triad with the dominant 7 E flat. This is what I'm hearing. Right? Something like that. Context.
By his stripes.
Okay. So hopefully this is making sense. Let's go to By His Stripes.
By his stripes.
Ooh, you hear that? By His Stripes?
Stripes.
What is that? Something like that, right? So the keyboardist is doing something very clever. By His Stripes. It would usually be a 1, some kind of 1-4, but he does this nice, 5-1, sorry. By His Stripes, you'd usually do like a 5-1, but he does. So a 6 flat 7 1. So he's just creating some passing chords to get to that. He wants to get to this 1 chord here, which is a dominant chord. But he does on the 6, the G minor ninth, which we talked about. And then on the A flat, he goes to A flat major 7th or A flat major 9, which is this. So you need to know your A flat scale, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So he goes. Okay, so he goes to this nice big altered dominant chord on the 1, the B flat. So here it is, the 1 to 3, the flat 7. Here's the 9.